You're not confused. You're being controlled. And the worst part, you didn't even notice it happening. Right now, your brain is rewriting your version of reality. And if you don't see it, you won't even realize when it's no longer yours. Gaslighting. The moment you start doubting your own memory, it's already working. You're not confused by accident. You're being trained to question yourself. It doesn't start with a big lie. It starts small. You're sitting there. You remember exactly what happened. Clear, sharp, certain. And they look at you and say, that never happened. Not aggressively, not loudly, calm, controlled, almost casual. And that's what makes it dangerous because your brain expects conflict to be loud, not quiet. So instead of rejecting it, you hesitate. Wait, did I get it wrong? That hesitation is the entry point. Next time, it gets easier. You explain how something made you feel. They don't argue, they reframe it. You're overreacting. You're too sensitive. You always do this, not to win the argument, but to move it away from what happened and onto you. And your brain follows because your brain hates conflict more than it loves truth. So it tries to resolve the tension. It starts adjusting. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I remember it wrong. Maybe I am the problem. That's the shift. You stop trusting your memory. You stop trusting your emotions. Eventually, you stop trusting yourself. And once that happens, they don't need to control you anymore. You do it for them. That's why gaslighting is slow. It's not one moment. It's repetition, one comment, one denial, one subtle correction at a time, until your reality is no longer yours. And here's the part no one tells you. It works because your brain is trying to protect you. Certainty feels safe, even if it's wrong. So when two realities collide, your brain doesn't choose the truth. It chooses the one that creates less friction. And over time, that becomes theirs. So what do? You slow everything down, you stop reacting, and start observing. You write things down, not because you're weak, because memory can be manipulated. But evidence is harder to bend. You trust the feeling before it was questioned, because that first reaction is usually the honest one. And most importantly, you stop explaining yourself to someone who is committed to misunderstanding you, because clarity doesn't come from convincing them. It comes from stepping out of the version of reality they're building. And the moment you do that, the control starts breaking. Love bombing. If it feels too good too fast, it's not love. It's a setup. It doesn't begin with care. It begins with intensity. Suddenly, you're everything. They text you all day, call you all night, tell you you're different, rare, perfect. Second date, they're talking about forever. And it feels right. Not slow, not steady, overwhelming. Like something you've been missing just arrived all at once. You don't question it because your brain doesn't want to. It's getting rewarded. Attention, validation, dopamine, fast, repeated, addictive. And here's the problem. Your brain bonds faster to intensity than it does to reality. So you don't fall for them. You fall for the feeling, and they know that. That's why it moves so fast. No space, no pause, no time to think. Because clarity needs distance. And they don't give you any, it feels like connection, but it's actually acceleration. You're not building something, you're being pulled into something. And just when you're fully in, they change. The messages slow down, the energy drops, the warmth disappears. No explanation, just distance. And now your brain panics because the reward is gone. So it starts searching. What did I do wrong? Why did they change? How do I get it back? That's the hook. You're no longer choosing them. You're chasing the version of them that never existed. The one who said all the right things. The one who made you feel seen. That wasn't them. That was the bait. And this is where control begins. Because once you're attached to the high, they control the supply. They give it, they take it, and you adjust yourself to earn it back. That's not connection. That's conditioning. And it works because your brain is wired for reward loops. Intermittent attention is more addictive than constant love. Uncertainty keeps you engaged. Hope keeps you waiting. So, how do you break it? You slow it down on purpose. You create space where they try to create speed. You stop listening to what they say and start watching what they repeat. Patterns don't lie, promises do. Real connection doesn't rush you, it doesn't overwhelm you. It builds quietly, with time, with consistency, with truth. Anything that tries to skip that process is not love. It's a performance. And the moment you stop clapping, it falls apart. Guilt tripping. If you feel guilty for saying no, that feeling might not be yours. It doesn't come as pressure. It comes as disappointment, a pause, a sigh, a quiet line. After everything I've done for you, no shouting, no demand, just enough to make you hesitate. And that hesitation is where it starts. You weren't wrong. You were just setting a boundary. But suddenly, it feels like betrayal, like you missed something, like you should have known better, and your brain reacts instantly, not to facts, to emotion. Because your brain is wired to protect connection. It would rather feel wrong than risk losing someone, so it adjusts. Maybe I'm being selfish. Maybe I'm too cold. Maybe I should just say yes. That's the shift. Nothing changed in reality. But internally, you moved from choice to obligation. That's how guilt tripping works. It doesn't attack your actions. It attacks your identity. You're not just someone who said no. You're now ungrateful, difficult, selfish. And once that label lands, you try to fix it. You apologize. You over-explain. You agree to things you never wanted. Not because you changed your mind, because you want the tension to stop. And that's the control. Your kindness becomes leverage. Your empathy becomes a weakness to pull on. And the more you give, the more is expected. Because now it's not a choice anymore. It's a pattern. And it works especially well on people who care. Because you feel everything. The silence, the shift in tone, the disappointment. Even when nothing is said, you feel like you did something wrong. But here's the truth. Real guilt comes from your own values. It's clear, direct, specific. Manipulated guilt, it's vague, heavy, and never fully goes away. Because it was never about what you did. It was about keeping you compliant. So how do you break it? You pause. You don't react immediately. You ask one question, did I actually do something wrong? Or am I being made to feel like I did? And then you sit with the answer, without rushing to fix it, without trying to remove their discomfort. Because their disappointment is not proof of your guilt. It's often proof that your boundary worked. And the moment you stop trying to earn back approval, you never lost. That's when the control breaks.